I think it was 19. It was about half a year ago. Said, I'm going to knock you out when I turn pro. I'm going to knock you out. I said, turn pro first, enjoy it, and just be careful what you wish for. That's all you say. And it's just I would never dream of saying that to if I saw a professional boxer up and coming, you conduct yourself and say, good luck, well done your hard work, keep going. And some people just lose their cool a little bit, you know.
Yeah. So what do you think of when the gloves were off with Triple D against AJ?
Yeah.
And Triple D said, well, let's just go now then.
Yeah, I quite like that. That was good viewing, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And,
great viewing.
I'd buy a ticket now just watching that.
I'm looking forward to that fight.
But AJ didn't really take it kindly, just side-eyed him and go, watch what you're saying. Like, you're not on my level. And then Carl Froch comes up and goes, what does he mean not on level? Where's the humble AJ gone? This is all his money. That's what he's referring to. Look at this, that, other. Like, what do you think of that whole scenario?
It's hard when you're fighting for the world heavyweight title. It's a bit different context to someone coming up to you in the bar and someone who's not relevant. These two guys know in a few months when they've done that, they've got to go and have a fight, and they're fighting for the world title. And there's a little bit of jostling there, a little bit of body language and mind games going on. And someone's saying that you can't intimidate me. You come over to me. I'm gonna do this and do that. It's very hard to keep your cool. But I think Joshua did it in a way where he did keep his cool. I know he stood up, but he done it in a menacing, intimidating way. And fair play to Dubois, he didn't back down either. So it's the nature and part and parcel of being a heavyweight boxer fighting for the world title. You're gonna get a bit of testosterone pumping, aren't you?
Yes, 100. Danny Whitaker. How was that fight?
Yeah, that was the fight in the Matchroom Garden.
It was an open atmosphere.
Really good atmosphere.
Different.
Really good. That was my third fight, and that was that round 2 knockout, I think it was.
Yeah, round 2, 1 minute 50
overhand
seconds
right.
left.
That was good. Really local to me, but 10-15 minutes away in Brentwood. So yeah, really good event, and a once in a lifetime place to box, you know.
Yeah, it looked good.
Really good. You see the garden before it's all done up, and then you see all the stuff in it for the arena, and it looks amazing. It looks like a proper stadium sort of vibe. So it was really good.
You got Gabriel
Nguema. Yeah, he was tough. He was a Spanish heavyweight champion, but it was also tough because I broke my hand in the changing room and cut my eye in the first 30 seconds. But it would have been a tough test anyway. Yeah. Probably something I didn't need at that stage of my career.
How do you fight with a broken hand?
I was trying to land if you look at that fight back, I'm trying to wing the shots over the top. I couldn't really land on this knuckle. I splintered my metacarpal bone here. And it was an overuse injury. I really felt it before the fight, but I cracked it even more during the warm-up on the pads. So looking back now, I could have handled it better, jabbed a bit more, but obviously I spoke to you about feeling tense, feeling anxious, and that plays a big role. And probably a fight I didn't need at that stage of my career, being my 5th fight. Sold 2,500 tickets at Ali Pali. Someone like a Michael Rising or Torero would have been a good fit for that fight, but it's all experience in the bank. And looking back now, long term, it's put me in a better position because I've been in a situation of high pressure where things aren't going my way, you know. And I still won every round.
I mean, that's six rounds, wasn't it? You did on that one. That's one of your longest fights?
Yeah, that was my second longest fight behind the Armstrong fight, which went 7 rounds.
How important is it to get them rounds in? Obviously, you want to make a statement, and you've actually, come out, especially, the last fight, Babik, 36 seconds. Boy, I was watching that.
36.
Just sitting there watching that. Bosh.
Done him.
And then when he come up, it was a funny dance, and it was like, it's all over, mate.
Well, the ref done very well to stop that fight, but you need to get rounds under your belt. Yeah. But if you get them out of there, it's a bonus. But in long-term thinking, getting rounds under the belt is very, very important. And someone who I'm contracted to fight next, who we've organised with, is Rudenko, and he's proven at the top level to get rounds in. He fought Zili Zhang, couldn't stop him. Huey Fury couldn't stop him. Povetkin couldn't stop him. So some very, very big names.
Are you looking to make a statement 24th of August?
Well, the thing is now the 24th of August fight is off because Jack Catchall, the main event, has broke his ribs. Okay. So we're just in the process of reorganising that fight for in the next month or 2.
Rudenko's not a joke.
No, he's not a joke at all.
44 fights, 36 wins.
My most experienced opponent so far.
22 knockouts.
Yeah.
I only lost 7, and that's not a lot compared to.
And the people that he's lost to are the Huey Fury's, Alexander Povetkin's, Jared Anderson, who's the hottest prospect in heavyweight boxing right now. So it would be I'm not so much looking to make a statement, I'm just looking to win. Winning is all that matters. And if I get 10 rounds under my belt fighting him, so be it. That's what I need.
What do you think of Huey Fury? I mean, he's like that heavyweight that, you know, he was very young coming on the heavyweight scene. And then, you know, his dad, Peter, you know, said that he had a bit of acne and then there was certain things troubling him. Then he took that little, I think he took a loss and then he disappeared for a couple of years. Now he's coming back, like, you know.
Huey Fury is a really good fighter, technically very good, awkward, big man, 6'6". I've sparred him when I first turned professional.
Does he have power?
Yes, he does.
It doesn't look like he has that finishing power.
Yeah, he's not, maybe not the power of a Daniel Dubois or Anthony Joshua, but any man over 14 stone 4, which is the cruiserweight limit, can seriously punch. And it's a big unit, lots of experience, great coach in Peter Fury. And he's still a force to be reckoned with. And it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back. A very nice man as well. He looked after me when I came for sparring in Congleton, it's called, near Manchester.
Is there a difference in levels between when sparring Tyson Fury and Huey Fury?
Yeah. Tyson Fury is obviously mixed at the elite top level, but Huey Fury's fought Joe Parker, Povetkin. I think he drew with Povetkin, if I remember. Was that Michael Hunter? But he still fought at the top level. But yeah, Tyson Fury is the top 1, top 2, top 3 guys in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, also you've been tipped top 10 in UK.
Yep, I'm number 9 now. Yeah. I looked yesterday, so I'll keep an eye on it. But listen, it's just a nice little thing to be in their names. So I'm not saying I'm an amazing fighter, but it's a great little achievement to be in the top 10 in the UK.
So Johnny, let's talk about some fight predictions. You got AJ versus Triple D. You know, from where I'm sitting as an amateur, I'm thinking AJ is the top dog. He's got all the experience behind him. He's been for world title fights already. He looks athletically there. And I'm looking at Triple D, where, you know, I think Joe Joyce beat him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did back in a few years back.
Yeah,
now.
and people said he quit. But obviously, you got to say, Triple D is quite young.
He's only a year older than me.
Yeah, he's 26. And he's a young, hungry lion.
And he can whack. He can seriously punch.
You've sparred with him.
He's the hardest person I've ever been punched by.
Really?
Ever. And his jab is like a right hand when it hits you.
Really?
It is unbelievable power. He punches like an absolute horse. He's a massive, massive puncher. Really nice guy as well when you see him outside of the ring. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I too would favour Joshua because of the experience of the level he's at. But Dubois fought Usyk now, and a lot of people thought Dubois beat Usyk with that body shot. Yeah. I think it was when I looked at it initially, I thought, what a great shot. But he's mixed it. He's on a good run. Beat Jarrell Miller. He's beat Filip Hrgovic. I was sparring in Texas, who's probably the most technically gifted fighter I've ever been in with.
What does that mean?
Technically gifted. The punch repertoire, where he throws his shots from, his ability to read his opponent, the footwork, the skill in the mind, and knowing how to break people down. He was fantastic. And I just think, I spoke to him after the fight and he overtrained and he was ill in the build-up to that fight, because I really expected him to do a good job against Daniel Dubois. Yeah. As hard as Daniel Dubois hits, the way he was sparring Hrgovic, he looked unbelievable, but probably peaked a bit too soon. That was about 4 weeks out. But coming back to Dubois and AJ, I would favour AJ, but as Ben Davison, AJ's coach, has said, this is heavyweight boxing and Dubois can seriously whack, and he's proved in his mettle. I know a lot of people said he quit against Joe Joyce, but I'd like to see a lot of people deal with a broken eye socket and their eyeball rolling about in their head and see how they would feel. But
what would you do in that situation?
Don't know. Never been there.
Would you lose on your shield, as they say, or?
You'd like to think you would, but you've got a great corner team. I don't think his corner team are giving him any help. I would communicate to the corner that my eye socket's gone and broken it, and they'd ask me. I know what Mark Tibbs do, say, can you go on? Can you carry on? I'll give you one more round. And I'd like to think in my heart that I could say, yeah, I'll go on one more round. But until I've been in that situation, I don't know. And Dubois could have been like that. I think he could have been like that from round 3, round 4. His eye was getting smashed, and Joe Joyce has got a brilliant jab. Sparred loads of times with him.
Solid.
But Dubois proven his mettle, fighting Jarrell Miller, come through a corner there. Dubois, when he fought Hrgovic, round 1, round 2, was getting absolutely smashed with right hands and just came through and bludgeoned Hrgovic in the end. So he's proven his mettle, and it's not going to be an easy night's work for Joshua. It's going to be a great fight.
We had Spencer Fear on here a few
Yes,
weeks ago.
good man.
And he said to me that I seen Joshua in camp. Joshua looks like he's just refining what he needs to do. And Triple D's had a new coach come on board, which is trying to strip him back and try and get him ready. And he thinks it's a little bit too soon.
Who?
Triple D.
For Triple D.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's fought. He probably. I agree that Joshua is the favourite, but he's mixed with the top guys. Usyk's the best in the division, and he's fought Usyk, and he's fought Jarrell Miller. He's fought Joe Joyce now, albeit a loss, and fought Hrgovic. Where else is there to go other than if you get a shot at the world title, you might as well have a go again.
How does Triple D win against AJ?
Joshua obviously has got the history of people, the stigma around him of, he can't take a punch. Obviously, you're a heavyweight, you get hit by one of these elite guys, you're going to feel it. I don't think it's that, but it will be playing on his mind that Dubois is a massive puncher. He's just got to bring the fight to Anthony Joshua. He's got to take a few risks in an educated way, and be the aggressor in the fight, not sit back too much. And Dubois got brilliant feet. He comes in a few inches in range, few inches out, and he's very good at counter right hands. If you just lean in a bit too much over your front foot, he will sting you with that backhand. And it never drops me, but it will shake you to your boots if it hits you.
Have you ever sparred with AJ?
No, I'd love to though. I think at one point after the Southern Area win, I was meant to go and spar him, but I was on a holiday somewhere and it just didn't work out, the timings. But it'd be an honour to spar AJ, because like every boxing fan and boxing supporter, you look up to someone like Anthony Joshua who changed the game, really. Yeah. He got so many more people interested in boxing, especially when I was at university. The amount of people that knew Anthony Joshua, he has transcended boxing.
How good is it, AJ?
He's amazing. Think, who's he lost to? He's lost to Andy Ruiz and he beat him in a rematch. And the other guy he's lost to is one of the best ever, pound for pound. Undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight. He's just beaten Tyson Fury. And I really think the way that Joshua is on a good trajectory now, confident. I know he's not beat the massive names. He's beat Jermaine Franklin, Robert Helenius, Otto Wallin, and Francis Ngannou. But the confidence that gives you, getting knockout wins.
How much does that give you in confidence?
You've got to be on a roll. You've got to have confidence. It's like any sport. If you're a batsman in cricket and you've scored 350s and 100 in your last 4 games, you're going to be more confident than if you've got 2 golden ducks, or if you're a darts player and you've won a couple of your last tournaments. Momentum in sport, momentum in life is a massive thing. So Joshua will be on a high, and if he gets the call to fight Usyk again with his new training team, Ben Davison, the great coach, I think he'll be confident in winning that fight, but it's a tough ask.
How important is it to stay active in boxing? Because I see you just fought in February.
Yeah.
You recently just fought where you just boxed
July.
that guy.
Yeah, and I want to fight again very quickly.
You want to fight. You want 2 more fights by the end of the year. Like, I don't see heavyweights that active.
Yeah, it's really important to fight regularly, I think.
Why don't they?
The politics of making fights is often a thing about it. If you're in really tough wars, you need to recover from the wear and tear, because it does take away from you a little bit. Where I've only had 1 in 30 seconds, I'm fresh, I'm ready to go. And I've read a little turning point in my head the last 6 months. You've got to stay active. You don't want to be coming out of camp for 4 or 5 weeks eating a load of rubbish and then thinking about getting weight off or getting fit again before you go into camp. I'm fit now, I'm ready to fight again. So use it. Use that in a valuable way.
What do you think of Turk Ali Sheikh, who's changing the game?
He's changed it.
You know,
he's changed the game amazingly. Some great fights that have happened in Saudi Arabia. Zhang Wilder, Zhang Parker, Fury, Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight championship. Some brilliant fights going on. So it's been great for boxing, and it's done something that you never think would happen. Eddie and Frank Warren sitting on the same table talking again. But I guess money talks, and I'd love to see a few more of them fights in London, in England, but the world's not perfect and we can't all get what we want all the time. But we're seeing a great fight they're putting on the Riyadh season sponsoring in the AJ Dubois. So it is changing the game, and it's forcing people to make the big fights at the top level. So 100%. It can only be a good thing.
How much do you get paid a fight at this level?
It depends how many tickets you sell.
What sort of bracket will you be looking at? Somebody's at home going, shall I become a boxer? I've got a bit of power. Maybe I should train. After 10 fights, where would I be at? What would I be getting paid?
I don't want to share that, because it's not respectful to other guys who are boxers who are coming through. Because I'll tell you something about earning purses in boxing. You can box for your first 5-10 fights and fight in small hall shows, and you can be losing money. Boxers pay their manager they pay their promoter, they pay to have the opponent come and fight them. Then they've got to pay the house or the promoter of these small hall shows to then put their to put the show on, put them on the show, and then whatever's left of their ticket money, they split with the promoter. So just say that could cost £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 for a 4-6 round fight. So not a big fight to get a journeyman in, pay your promoter manager. Then you could sell 200 tickets. That might cover 80% of the purse of the fight, of 80% of setting the fight up. But then you've got to give half of that to the promoter of the fight. So you might have £3-4 grand to put towards that £7 grand bill. And then you've got to find your own £3,000, £4,000 to fight. And that's before you're fighting for titles.
Wow.
So I don't want to be disrespectful and say what I'm earning to them guys. I'm earning I'm very lucky to be earning money out of boxing. I was able to earn money from the very beginning when I was fighting on Matchroom's cards, but I understand a lot of small hall fighters out there haven't got that luxury, and there's some very, very talented ones out there. And I'm in a position now where I'm earning good money, and it's enough to live on, it's enough to have a nice house, it's enough to pay my bills, pay my mortgage, and hopefully as a heavyweight it will keep growing and growing. But it's a very, very hard life for boxers out there. So anyone who's thinking about starting boxing and being a professional, think about how hard them challenges are, because they're very, very real. And you could have 10 fights and be losing money for the whole first 10 fights. So there is a big gulf between for some fighters out there to cover.
So it's not just like a dream where you're at AJ and you just get up there and now you're getting 200 million for big fights. And
that's like 1 in a million people. You've probably got Anthony Joshua, Canelo, people like that, Bivol. They're the ones on that huge money, Usyk. But for guys who are just starting out, it's a long, long, hard road. And I saw another boxer talking about it. I can't remember his name, but you might see the glitz and the glamour and all the interviews and fighting on shows. But even the guys on Sky Sports, Matchroom and Queensbury, the ones just starting out, they're not all earning a fortune. They're earning enough to cover their costs for their camp, their sparring. They're in a better position than the small hall show guys, with the small hall promoters, but they've still got to cover costs. That's why sponsors are really important when you start off. And all through your career, you want to keep them people with you because they're people that supported you. But it's not an easy game, boxing, to earn money out of. And it's a very, very hard game. So to be doing it for free and sometimes paying to do it, you've got to have that dedication. And if it pays off, it pays off, but it doesn't always do that.
What made you choose boxing over rugby?
I love rugby as well. One of my dreams was to play it.
You look like a rugby player.
Yeah, I used to play a bit at university. Listen, I was never an amazing player, but I had a bit of natural ability to run with the ball and score. I was a good try scorer from my position. I played at Cooper's. I went to Marshall's Park in Romford. We didn't really have a rugby team. We had about 7 guys who wanted to play a bit, and we just found a few on the day to go and play these other schools. And I went to Cooper's for sixth form, and they used to play some of the good schools like St Joseph's and Bancroft, some good private schools, and we were like the state school that turned up and weren't expected to win too much, but we did win the Essex Cup a couple of times, and that was brilliant. And went to Exeter University, and it was just a different level of rugby, and I thought, wow, this is a new level. All these posh private school boys all coming in, really good guys. But I had to learn very quickly how to play, and I'd never been up in a line-out before, didn't really know how to scrum, but I had natural ability running with the ball, and I made the fresh first team. So the first year's first team, I started getting in on the coattails of that, and by the second year I just started boxing again. I just thought I'd do a bit of boxing for a bit of fitness, and then from there I had an amateur fight at the club, at the uni club, and won in round 1. Saw Dave Allen wanted a bit of sparring. I thought, what an amazing thing that would be. Just say I've sparred Dave Allen, get the picture. Like, it's a bucket list thing. I love Dave Allen growing up, still do now. And
called him up a few times. I've seen a few of your interviews with him.
Yeah.
I know you're proud of saying you.
He was my idol growing up. And I like his authentic way. How he's just no airs and graces, just does what it says on the tin. Sparred Joe Joyce, and then COVID happened.
What's it like sparring Joe Joyce? Because he just looks like granite chin, juggernaut.
Especially when I was sparring him when he was like really coming up and was a real force. He still is a force now, don't get me wrong. He can still a big old unit, but when he was like in a purple patch fighting Joe Parker and stuff, we're really good friends. Speak to him every day, but we have battered each other seriously, and it's like it's so weird. It's the weird dynamic. We'll be in the Vegas house, all getting ready to spar, talking about conspiracy theories, talking about all this random stuff that guys talk about. And then we're like, right, let's get in the car, let's go. Gets a bit quiet. We all like, you're getting a bit tense before sparring. You glove up, you put your protection on, put your head guard on. Absolutely knock 7 lumps out of each other, 6 lumps out of each other for 6 rounds, 8 rounds. Then we just go and get a bit of food afterwards like nothing's happened, and we wake up and do it again the next day. But that's why I think we've become good friends, because we've shared that struggle together. Yeah. And I enjoyed helping him, you know, especially before the Joe Parker fight. He was in unbelievable condition, and to be able to learn off him was amazing.
Yeah. How strong is he?
He is Joe Joyce. One of the strongest and one of the fittest men I've ever met. I remember being on a rowing machine with him, and my heart was in the yellow-red zone. This is about 4 years ago, and I was struggling to keep up. He was in the blue zone, and his heart was on about 70 BPM. I was on about 140, 150, just rowing like with no effort whatsoever. It's just genetically, I think he's gifted like that, and the relentless nature of how he fights was unbelievable when I was sparring him, and that makes you a better fighter, you know.
Do you think this is the end of Joe Joyce now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the end or not. And I don't like seeing it as the end, because boxing's just one part of your life. Mm-hmm. It is all your life, but he's still a relatively young man, 38, 39. He can do whatever he wants. He's a formidable force. He could be great in some action films, you know. He'd be amazing.
He's good looking as well.
He's got the look. He's got the look. He's very clever and intellectual guy as well. He went to university. He's into his history. Wow. He likes going down the rabbit hole with the pyramids and things like that, and learning about the royal family and stuff like that. And you have some interesting conversations, but just a really, really articulate man. And when I first met him, like, he takes a while to warm to people, which I find quite genuine, quite endearing, that he don't just become your mate straight away. And I think that's a good way to be. You build a relationship with people. And once you've got that with him, he's a really good man. And if there's one man I trust on this earth, Joe Joyce is one of them.
That's nice. Let's talk a little bit about the fight coming up on the in the December card with Usyk versus Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
×2. Was you surprised when Usyk beat Tyson?
Not surprised. I know you said Spencer Fury wasn't surprised either when you had him on, but I wanted Fury to win as the Brit, as a Fury fan.
Yeah.
And I thought at one point, round 6, round 7, he was winning the fight and turning the screw, and then out of nowhere, Usyk he got that unbelievable fitness, and it come probably down to his training and his dedication. Doesn't cut corners, and he just turned the screw, knocked Fury down, obviously, onto the ropes. So credit to him, and Usyk's a formidable guy, and you can only give him credit. And I think the rematch is going to be amazing.
What mistakes do you think Tyson Fury made in that fight?
I spoke to Jimmy Tibbs about this, legendary trainer, obviously, dad of my trainer, Mark Tibbs. And he said, yeah, he looked good. He lost weight, but not always good to lose weight as a heavyweight. He might have been better off being 19, 20 stone. I don't know what their plan was in the camp. I'm not an expert on their camp. I'm not trying to tell them what to do, but it made sense to me. If you're a big guy, you might not look body beautiful. You never will. And maybe that bit of weight might have helped him. Could have hindered him. Could have made him a bit slower. But sometimes losing weight lowers your punch resistance. You haven't got as much energy. You might look a bit better, but it might just be a little bit of an aesthetic thing rather than an actual fitness thing, you know. Look at there's been some massive guys in the past. George Foreman, when he came back, was a big old unit. Larry Holmes hasn't always been the most ripped guy, you know. You don't have to be completely chiselled or thingy to... You have to be completely chiselled to be a great fighter. Some fighters are naturally like that, but being a bigger guy, sometimes you've got to use that weight, and maybe coming in a stone or two heavier wouldn't have been a bad thing.
What does Tyson need to do differently apart from the weight this time?
That uppercut he was throwing was really effective when he was throwing that. I thought that was good. Maybe a little bit less showboating, but that's why we love Tyson Fury, because he is like that. And if he won that fight, we would have been singing his praises, saying he showboated at the same time. But that can all make a difference. That's another 2-3%. Maybe would have helped some energy down the line. But he's the bigger man. He's got to use that as best he can, and keep sticking that big jab in his face, whether it's a big hard jab or a sticky little annoying jab, you know. Use that, and then you can blind him with that, and we'll keep bringing that uppercut, because I thought them uppercuts were beautiful he was hitting him with.
It was a shock when Usyk hit him straight on the face, It just felt like something.
I was gutted.
Even he felt like that. I was like, my heart was going down. It's like watching the England match and they're gone down. Know. You know what I mean? That's how I felt.
I can't believe how he stayed up, Fury. You've got to give him credit for that. And he saw it through because big man like that, getting caught like that, and the energy it takes to stay up. He's a fighting man, and we've got to remember he's had 3 fights with Wilder, and Wilder's a shell of what he used to be. And you've got to ask yourself how much of them fights taken out of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, especially the 3rd fight. That was an all-out war. And as a professional boxer, and especially a heavyweight, you can only have so many wars like that before it catches up with you. You know
why?
Wear and tear, big old unit. Human beings aren't designed to smash each other up like that, especially 20 stone guys, 16 stone, 17 stone plus. You can't take severe punishment like that, getting punched on the head. It's not healthy, is it? That's the bottom line, to be getting punched in the head repetitively, especially by the big guys. So you can only go to the well so many times, and Fury's probably only got 1 or 2 more times to do it.
So what do you think of someone like Mike Tyson stepping in the ring again against Jake Paul?
I think it's a farce. I think it's an absolute joke, and it's not happened, and I'm glad it's not happened. Almost 60 years old. I used to like Jake Paul. I used to think, he's doing something quite good, trying to dedicate himself, but I've got no time for it. I think it's all quite rubbish now.
What do you think of that whole scene of influencer boxing, misfits, all of that?
It's not boxing, it's entertainment. Fair play to them. Make their money. That's fantastic, but I don't regard it as boxing. I regard it as sort of wrestling style entertainment. And yeah, it is entertaining. Sometimes you watch it and you think, that's a laugh, but it can never be taken seriously, ever. And that's the danger, though. Like young kids coming through now will look on my TikTok comments. They'll be like, when you're fighting Jake Paul, you should fight Tommy Fury. And like they don't understand what we have to go through as professional boxers. I know Jake Paul trains really hard, KSI, and fair play to him for making loads and loads of money, and they're great businessmen. But I mean, come on, fighting a 60-year-old nearly Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, I've got no time for that.
How do you think that plays out? Because it is scheduled for November.
I think, well, considering that Mike Tyson had to be taken off a plane, didn't he, for having heart problems, I don't think they should be sanctioned at all, ever. It's wrong.
Who is your favourite boxer of all time?
I've got a few. Lennox Lewis being one of them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Rocky Marciano. Yeah. Old classic guy. The modern guys, Joshua, Fury, love them two the most.
There's no Tyson in there? Mike Tyson?
Oh, Mike Tyson, unbelievable. But in terms of my favourites, probably Lennox Lewis, someone like that, Vitaly Klitschko. But Mike Tyson, in his prime, watched him 18, 19, 20 years old, smashing people up who were like 10 years older than him, getting a world title at 20 years old. Unbelievable.
Johnny, a big name has just been dropped. Yeah, everyone's talking about Chisora and you.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's just like putting you straight into that
Another
mix
legend.
now. He's like, War Chisora, they call him, don't he? He's like a real veteran. Couldn't believe he beat Joyce. Couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I thought Joyce would be able to deal with him, but Chisora just keeps coming back. He's had 2 wins on the... Is it 2 wins on the bounce now? Who did he fight before? He fought someone else recently, but he just keeps coming back, and if he's still winning, Joe Joyce is a great name to have on your resume. So I've got a lot of time for Joe Chisora. He's a legend, and people have been bounding our names around. Eddie being the main man who's been doing that, and I feel a bit disrespectful to thinking like I'm calling for that fight. So I'm not calling for it, but if Derek Chisora came and said, let's have a fight at the O2, let's sell it out, I want to do it, I wouldn't say no. It would be an honour to share the ring with Derek Chisora, and I think I'd have a good chance in. Not saying I'd win it, but I'll give a good account of myself,
Yeah. How much of a task is it for Chisora being a 40-year-old?
That's the problem. Maybe if it was 3-4 years ago, I'd feel slightly differently. But age waits for time waits for no man, and he's been in some grueling fights, and I think Del Boy's a great character, and I think he's an unbelievable guy, unbelievable for British boxing. He'll go down and be remembered by a lot of people, and time waits for no man.
How important is timing in terms of when you're facing your next opponent? You know, if you go straight for Chisora, where do you go from there? You might be able to, face an opponent like that. You might be able to get through a war like that and show a lot of, toughness, but is it too fast too soon? Because you've had all these first round knockouts. Not sure how much experience you're getting in the sort of actual ring. Fighting
Yeah, it's true.
Chisora, imagine beating him. Where do you go from that?
That's the thing. It's not an immediate fight. It's whether it's just an idea that's been bandied about. I've obviously got Rudenko locked in for my next fight. That could give me some great experience. He could be one of